In this video, I will be reading Major Counseling Group Says It's Time to Reconsider Standardized Testing in College Admissions, written by Valerie Strauss and published in the Washington Post on May 2nd, 2020. For the first time, the country's largest membership organization of college admissions professionals has sharply distanced itself from the admissions testing industry, saying it's time to rethink whether it's fair to require students to submit standardized test scores on applications. Jane Kaplan-Fonash, president of the National Association for College Admissions Counseling, published a statement that also slammed the College Board and ACT Inc. for not consulting with its members before deciding to offer at-home versions of their exams during the COVID-19 epidemic. The College Board owns the SAT and the Advanced Placement program, and ACT Inc. owns the ACT exam. Fonash said many members of NACAC, a nonprofit group with more than 15,000 high school counselors, college admissions officers, tutors, and others around the world, have raised legitimate questions about how valid and reliable such exams will be, and how fair the new plan is to students from low-income and rural areas who cannot take online tests while at home during the coronavirus pandemic. Concerns voiced by our members include the persistent and well-documented digital divide between low-income and upper-middle-income students, as well as their access to safe and quiet rooms, unprecedented challenges faced by students with documented disabilities in participating in standardized tests, and uneven access faced by students throughout the world to online infrastructure across various nations and impractical testing hours, she wrote. With K-12 and college and universities closed this spring because of the coronavirus crisis, the normal admissions process has been upended not only for graduating high school seniors, but for juniors as well. The College Board and ACT have canceled a number of testing dates this year, prompting scores of schools to say they will drop the requirement for a test score on an application for fall 2020, and some for longer than that. As the numbers of schools going test optional keeps rising, with no date certain as to when normal testing practices will resume, both of the testing organizations announced they would offer shortened exams online to students at home. The College Board is also giving shortened versions of AP tests to high school students at home. Many colleges give credit for high scores on these exams in numerous subjects. Educators and researchers have long debated the ability of SAT and ACT scores to predict how well a student will do in college. The College Board and ACT both say their tests are strongly predictive of college performance. But many researchers say evidence shows the strongest predictive measures are family income, race, and the mother's education level. The COVID-19 crisis has spurred what was a growing test-optional movement in higher education, with more than 1,100 colleges and universities adopting such policies. Fonash is the first leader of NACAC to criticize the testing industry in such a public way, with her statement available for broad consumption and not intended for the professionals' private communications. The absence of prior communication with the very professionals vital to the administration of these tests clearly flies in the face of professional respect, she wrote, not to mention a disregard for the best interests of students who have been told in a recent video that is their responsibility to take AP tests regardless of their concerns regarding test environments and lack of clarity regarding college credit. College Board spokesman Zachary Goldberg said in an email the organization has sought the input of our members and regularly has communicated with them about how we will advance our mission in response to the spread of the coronavirus. He also said the College Board has set up a 100-person customer service team to help more than 10,000 AP students have access to technology. During this challenging time, our first priority is to keep families and students safe, he said. Our second priority is to make advanced placement exams and the SAT as widely available as possible for students who wish to test, regardless of the economic or public health circumstances. ACT spokesman Ed Colby said in an email his organization's goal is to provide students with as many opportunities to earn a college reportable score as possible, as we believe that more options will increase access and equity. He said ACT is addressing issues of test security, access to technology, and availability of test accommodations in regard to the test at home option. We are still evaluating and planning for multiple contingencies and scenarios, and we would welcome collaboration with NACAC and other testing organizations on solutions designed to help students, he said. Testing at home will provide another viable and proven option for students to earn an ACT score. But Fonash said it is time to reconsider whether standardized test scores should continue to be a part of the college admissions process. NACA is asking its member colleges and universities to reassess their admission criteria in light of the overwhelming challenges faced by many students, she said. Do the criteria, test scores, grades in college prep courses, strength of curriculum, and the like stand up to educational scrutiny? Are they reliable? And perhaps most important of all, do they preserve access for all students, including low-income, first-generation, and other vulnerable students who are already facing increased threats to their physical, emotional, and economic well-being amid this global health crisis? And ultimately, is the current testing flawed? A number of NACA members praised her stance on the NACA email message system. Joanne Lewis, director of the College and Career Center at Palos Verdes High School in California, wrote, "Thanks, NACAC leadership, for taking a stand. If this is not the moment for a shift in the college testing and admissions paradigm, then I sincerely don't know when or if that day will ever come. Now is the time to do something more than talk about access and equity. Now is the time to walk the walk." Fonash said, "If we consider equity and fairness to be the cornerstone of all our decision-making and our work on behalf of all students, then we are responsible to advance the conversation about the value and ethical use of standardized testing in college admissions, to bring this incredibly important matter to center stage among all college admission professionals, and truly to rethink the role of testing in the college admissions process in partnership with institutions that have our students' well-being at heart." Bob Schaefer, executive director of the National Center for Fair and Open Testing, a nonprofit organization known as Fair Test, which works to end the misuse of standardized tests, said, "The association's critique of the severe equity and security concerns related to possible at-home versions of the test is compelling. NACA officials deserve credit for following the lead of their many colleges and university member organizations that already have put ACT, SAT optional policies in place. It's time for institutions that still require standardized exam scores to eliminate that mandate, at least for fall 2021 applicants."